Okay, so with the release of Bloom and Gloom, the first main character to get the spotlight all to themselves this season is Apple Bloom. And what a coincidence, because ever since Spike stopped making episodes that sucked last season, Apple Bloom has become the least interesting main character as far as I'm concerned. Not that there's anything I hate about her, but... well, for one, her main motivations, getting her cutie mark and breaking out of her role as the baby in the family, are usually just used to enhance group conflicts, not really her in particular. And the most recent attempt we got to build on that with her in the spotlight was... yeah. At this point, there's just not much to be invested in with her specifically.
What's this all about? This letter from FIM saying she's got her cutie mark. She can't be a cutie mark crusader if she's already got her cutie mark. Oh, wow. I guess you're right. There's just so many things I never considered. What if I finally get my cutie mark and I don't like it? What if I get my cutie mark and no pony likes me? What if the crusaders drift apart? I mean, we won't really be the cutie mark crusaders anymore.
Okay, I'm listening. I mean, how did it take us 4.5 seasons to get to this episode? With the Crusaders stopping to worry about what they actually want their cutie marks to bring them, and whether they could still be friends like before if one of them got theirs before the others? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that stops it from feeling like just a gimmick.
Now get some sleep. You'll see. Everything'll be better in the morning.
I think I know where this is going. Yep, a nightmare about getting her cutie mark. That means it's Apple Bloom's turn for a dream adventure with Luna, right? And I have to praise this part too for capturing the effect of a dream pretty well. Instead of just using it as an excuse to create Bizarro Land, it's more like an actual dream. Which is to say, like reality, just with some major gaps in logic thrown in. The only problem is that it's almost a little bit too much like reality. I mean, the only reason we really know it's a dream is because they wouldn't give Apple Bloom her cutie mark so unceremoniously. Right? I mean, why are you guys taking the time to build a whole story around this very strange talent, including showing us how Apple Bloom is good at it? And who are we supposed to think this mysterious figure offering to get rid of the new cutie mark is? Because there is a figure on the loose right now who can take away cutie marks, and it can't be a dream if it's her, because she never met Apple Bloom. Okay, so the mystery of where all this is going is definitely a good reason to stay interested. But there is a little problem in the fact that, from a narrative standpoint, it's the only reason. While I gave For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils a hard time for its depiction of Sweetie Belle, it at least had something driving the narrative. Every scene in the dream world gave Sweetie Belle more insight into Rarity, and got her closer to seeing the error of her ways. Technically, all they're doing here is reiterating the fears that Apple Bloom already told us about. I guess it's expanding on them too, but still, Apple Bloom is technically just observing while the pieces fall into place. It's not a crippling blow or anything, but I don't think it builds enough momentum on its own to make this a great episode, even though the concept is great. And I also have to ask how Apple Bloom was so worried about her family disowning her after their really positive reaction to her loop-de-hooping cutie mark back in Cutie Pox.
Oh, and you're gonna have to change your name.
Yep.
I think just Blue has a nice ring to it.
On that note, thank goodness Jack, Smith, and Big all have Apple-related cutie marks. Also, it's worth noting that Luna makes her appearance pretty late in the game and doesn't really feel like a significant presence this time around. You could say that she's mostly just our ticket to wrapping things up here. But that said, the moral it spins from her arrival is very well done. Doing this makes me feel smart.
I guess I'm pretty worried about getting my cutie mark.
Well, that is the same as worrying about who you are. That is all a cutie mark is.
It might just be a coincidence, but with this episode on top of the opener, the season really seems to have a theme going about cutie marks and how it's who you are that should determine what you do, not the other way around. Because who you really are doesn't change with your occupation, so you should embrace finding yourself, no matter what people think. I know it's hard to imagine how the guy in the goofy outfit with a hippie haircut who reviews My Little Pony could appreciate a message like that. And okay, you got me. I mean, how could anyone, least of all me, ever question this? But there's also a pretty good moral here on how you don't have to go your separate ways just because your lives are headed in different directions, and how that might actually be where you need to support each other the most. Not only do we finally get the long overdue confirmation that the Crusaders like each other enough to want to be friends, cutie marks or no, we get a great little cap-off to the episode with how they decide to stay friends with Babs and send her support, just in case getting her cutie mark was more daunting than it sounded. Not that they're not writing Babs out of the show with this, because they totally are. I mean, unless one of the writers randomly decides that Babs Seed is the character they want to write a passion project around, she'll be lucky to get a few lines of dialogue at the next Apple family reunion. Maybe they have some kind of little follow-up to this planned, but otherwise, she's already done. Anyway, as far as the season goes, I do think this was a step in the right direction. The last episode was decent, but while I won't be giving this one a spot among the series' all-time greats, I do think it was genuinely good and thoughtful. And is there any question that it's Apple Bloom's best outing in the spotlight? That had its moments. That wasn't bad. Next. Oh yeah, that was technically an Apple Bloom episode. I mean, sure, she was mostly the excuse to explore Granny Smith, but no, it was still about her. Okay, so this one might have to settle for second place where that's concerned, but still, it definitely does Apple Bloom some much-needed good, not to mention reopens the door to develop her character. At very least, it reasserts her position as leader of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. She's always been the most enthusiastic about getting her Cutie Mark, and while it would probably be wrong to call her the most thoughtful about it, it still feels right somehow that she's the one to explore these questions and guide the other Crusaders past their fears. Maybe the word for what she has is ambition, and that's something that, when paired with the right person, can make it very interesting to see what they grow into. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, send it to Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. And if you'd like to watch another video in this series, click here. Otherwise, just check the description for more links, and I'll see you next time.